Rita Pinto. I'm a Portuguese journalist, and I've been working for many years in international affairs. I'm very pleased to be the moderator of this side event co-organized by the Permanent Representation of Portugal to the European Union and the Global Platform for Syrian Students, a Portuguese NGO led by former President Jorge Sampaio, whose aim is to provide emergency scholarship to Syrian students. Without further delay, I would like to introduce Mr. Pedro Costa Pereira. He will say a few words on behalf of the Permanent Representation of Portugal to the European Union. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you. Can you hear me, first of all?
Yes, you can hear you very well.
Thank you. Well, good morning and welcome. My name is Pedro Costa Pereira. I'm a Portuguese diplomat and for more than 20 years, and I'm currently working at the Permanent Representation of Portugal to the European Union, specifically following the so-called Southern neighborhood. So on behalf of the Permanent Representation of Portugal to the EU, I wish to convey how truly honored we are to be one of the co-organizers of this event. And it is wonderful to see that it has captured the interest of such a significant number of people and distinguished guests. Let me begin by saying that we are acutely aware that the theme of higher education in crisis settings is unfortunately often overlooked or perhaps not always seen as a priority in emergency situations. But history and experience have demonstrated that it is a driver for change and one of the keys in order to rebuild hope within the population, especially youth, and to get countries back on their feet again. The Global Platform for Syrian Students, for example, which you will learn a bit more about today, is an initiative which is full of merit and has proven to be able to produce concrete results, as you will witness by listening to some of the testimonials this morning. In this respect, and if I may, allow me to underline that the initiative itself is also testament to President Jorge Sampaio's involvement and personal commitment to this noble cause, and who you will hear from shortly. Without further ado, I pass the floor back to you and hope everyone enjoys the event. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me now turn to former President of Portugal and Chairman of the Global Platform for Syrian Students. Unfortunately, much to his regret, he's not able to be among us today, but will deliver a message to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, if I may, good morning to everyone. I would like to greet you all and express my deepest thanks to our distinguished panelists, speakers, students, to the moderator, as well as to this great audience. We are here today all together, basically, to listen to our Syrian students and to the testimonials of all those who have made it possible our emergency scholarship program for Syrians. I want to underline this amazing collaboration that is in fact going on since 2014 among a wide range of partners, to the Portuguese authorities and the academic community, now also extended to some universities in Spain and a number of international and national donors. It is this broad and solid partnership that allows the Global Platform, the NGO that I am honored and pleased to chair, to award scholarships to some Syrian students affected by the war to complete their education, bounce back, and build hope for the future. I would like to call upon this audience to the need to do much more to promote higher education opportunities in crisis situations. It is probably one of the rare things that can be done since day one of a crisis. In fact, to protect the human capital and provide education to the youth and prepare the next generation of leaders who ultimately will have to rebuild war-torn countries. Thank you for being here. I wish you a good session.
Thank you, President Sampaio. So inspired by his words, let's move on to our first panel. As you know, in 2014, Jorge Sampaio launched an emergency scholarship program for Syrian students caught in the crisis to enable them to complete their higher education. This pioneer multi-stakeholders initiative brought together a number of private and public international donors and partners, as well as the Portuguese academic community. With the full support of the Portuguese authorities, since 2014, scores of young Syrian women and men were able to resume their studies, most of them in Portugal. We will now have the pleasure to listen to some of these students to whom I would like to extend a warm welcome. They are all at different stages of their lives, have a different experience, opinions, aspirations, and dreams. We will now first listen to Mariam, William, and Rami. I know that you have started your academic journeys in 2014 or 2015 and have now very different situations. Please introduce yourselves and share with us what were the biggest challenges you faced and how did you overcome them so successfully?
Greeting everyone. I'm sorry about the echo. I'm Mariam. I'm 33 years old. I came in 2014 to study Master in Civil Engineering after I finished my Bachelor in Damascus University in Architecture. And after finishing my Master, I proceeded to continue studying my PhD in public rehabilitation of and the rehabilitation of public spaces in the old city of Damascus, which I just finished writing the thesis and I'm waiting for the defense. Coming to Portugal and starting my studies in 2014, I faced a lot of challenges. I faced the challenge of starting life in a new country with a new language, which at that point I was not able to speak very well, and started even changing my major from architecture to civil engineering and beginning studying in sustainability. It took me a lot of courage and a lot of hard work to be able to finish my master and then immediately start my PhD, which I now, since I finished it, I can look back and think that I also faced many different challenges, especially because my major of study or my thesis subject was about the master, and I was not able to get much more data. So, although there's a lot of challenges that could face students, and when they want to start their career or their professional studying in different countries, but with much help that was provided by the global platform, I was able to overpass all of the challenges and look forward to new challenges in life. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariam. William, are you there?
Yes, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, everybody.
Share with us?
I am William, 32 years old. I come from Damascus. I arrived to Portugal October 2014 to study a master program in software engineering, decision support systems in EPO Porto. I graduated in 2016 and then got an offer from a company here in the Netherlands, so I moved to Amsterdam since then. Back in Portugal, I have faced two main challenges. The first one is the language, not in terms of day-to-day life, because Portuguese people speak English very well, but rather in the master course, because the program was taught in Portuguese, both the theoretical and the practical part. And for that, the professors would do a specific arrangement with me, such as private sessions, which we would have in some cases early in the morning, but in others really late at night, like 11:30 p.m. Plus, all the materials were in Portuguese, so I needed to study from the original references, which would take me way much more time and effort. The second challenge in the first year was social life. I was new to almost everything. I needed to put extra efforts, as I mentioned, for my studies, so I didn't build much connections. And for me, it was important to have this kind of balance between studies and other activities in life, which was not the case specifically and exclusively in the first year. Luckily, in the second year, situation was way much more better. So, thank you.
Thank you, William. Rami, are you there?
I'm not sure he's here. Maybe he had some issues to connect.
Okay, Rami.
Maybe, yeah.
It's not here.
No.
Okay.
No, but he will join very soon. Maybe we can
Move on.
Yes.
Okay, so let me now turn to an amazing bunch of students who have just graduated. As far as I know, you have all arrived in Portugal in May 2018 and got a scholarship funded by La Caixa Foundation BPE. We would love to know, how do you feel having achieved such a landmark in your lives? How did this scholarship change your life? Would you do it all the same way if it were to be done again? Is Maher there? Maher?
Yes, good morning, thank you.
You want to share with us?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
My name is Maher Homed. I'm 24 years old and I'm from Damascus. Recently, I've got my master's degree in civil engineering from the University of Beira Interior in Covilhã, which is a small city in a mountainous area in the interior of Portugal. As many Syrian people fled the war, I went to Turkey in 2014 to do my last year of high school. Unfortunately, many of my Syrian colleagues had to give up on their dream of completing their education because they were struggling to find an opportunity for a higher education. But in my case, and thanks to the opportunity I've been given by the Global Platform for Syrian Students, today I'm a civil engineer with a master's degree, and I think that will contribute to a better life in the future for me, for my community, for my country. And I think that was a great opportunity for me to process experiences and to develop not only in my field of study, but to grow as a person as well. Thank you so much for the attention.
Okay, thank you, Maher. Are you there, Vajdi?
Yes, hello, good morning.
Good morning, go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Wajdi. I am 33 years old. I am from Tartus. My city is located near the sea. I have obtained a master's degree in marketing and communication from Polytechnic de Coimbra. I can see I'm so happy and so proud to say that it was by far one of the best steps of my life that I have made. For me, it was an incredible experience and an opportunity to engage and initiate in multiple research topics and collaboration. My master program has been productive but challenging. It serves to broaden my intellectual perspective, as I have to think hard about ideas and issues. I feel that it developed not only my research capability, but also expand the way I view the world, besides moving me from traditional writing to critical writing. I believe that I have grown and changed so much over the last memorable 2 years. I have stretched my experience and abilities, especially by applied new technique in research. I have met many people who have positively influenced who I am today. It was it's amazing opportunity for me. I want to thank Global Platform for Syrian Students for a generous gift that made my education attainable. Through their support, I have accomplished much of what I never thought possible. I am proud to say I had worked hard to be where I am, but certainly could not have done it without this help. I am forever grateful for your generosity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, can I Sorry, my name is Rami. I'm from first group, from the challenging. So sorry, I was there, but I didn't get any access to. Okay, by the way, my name is Rami. I'm sorry to interrupt the meeting, but my name, as I mentioned, so 32 years old. The biggest challenge I thought is what I think for each one of us is when we left our home, our family home. This is the biggest challenge I think. Started from there. For me, it was at 4 a.m. So when I left my home and my mother especially. So and then it was secondly it was mental challenge because you know getting someone from surrounding neighborhood 3 months to Alcaldía, it was Alcaldía neighborhood, if you know, by in homes, to in like within 9 hours you are in safe place. You just need, like I was, you know, if I get a cell phone to record a video, for example, to see the city to send to my family, it was a real challenge. It was like, do I am I doing something wrong? Because there at that time, if you record a video, you are committing a crime. So this is a biggest challenge mentally. And then secondly, you know, facing language and adapting. But it was everything. You know, challenge will always appear. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't get the connection, and the floor is yours. Sorry.
Thank you, Rami. Thank you for your participation. Let's move to this panel where we were, the students that have just graduated, and I'm calling now Majd. Are you there, Majd?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Hello. It's a delight and honor to be participated with you. I am Majd, architect, 28 years old, from Homs, the third largest city in Syria. 1 week ago, it was a shifted time to me as a territorial planning and urbanism master graduated student in University of Lisbon, which is a colorful, active, and diverse Mediterranean city as my homeland city, that it adds values and experiences in two aspects of my life, academic and practical life, and giving me the opportunities to meet a new culture by the new classmates from all over the world. Simply, I am on my way ready to whatever comes next. I can say that I have unforgivable experiences, being able to rely on myself completely, gain the ability to think wider, wiser, patiently, and more organized due to the nature of my studies, planning. In addition to my thesis was about planning transport in the Mediterranean cities that let me search, analyze the snaps, and understand the engineering problems to find solution and develop ideas in the best way in context of sustainability and to make it applicable for real life. Even if in my first country, Syria, or in the second country, Portugal, or even in Europe or all over the world. At the end, I want to put it out that none of this was possible if it wasn't for the consistent support and incredible experience from my professors and the platform for Syrian, especially Dr. Helena, who, to say the least, for the success of my graduation journey. And thank you.
Thank you, Majda. Mohammed, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everyone.
Go ahead.
It's a pleasure to share you this event. I'm Mohammed. I'm from Salamiyya, which is a city near to Hama, the heart of Syria. And now I live in Coimbra. I had finished my master in civil engineer 2 weeks ago, and my thesis was about the sustainable water management in urban environments. I choose this subject because, you know, water is a critical element and source in our life. So regarding to your question, coming to Portugal and studying here was a good opportunity, which gave me the chance to reach this phase with many achievements, not only in terms of academic success, you know, also, I could improve my understanding of life and enhance my skills to deal with life events which I face, and with people from different cultures and references who I meet. And yes, if the time went back, I would like to do things and choices in the same way I did, because I'm proud with what I have achieved, and I feel satisfied, and I think I am where I have destined to be. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. Salma, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for organizing this event. My name is Salma, and I came from a small city in the middle of Syria called Salamiyeh, the same as Muhammad. And I did a master's degree in biochemistry for health at Nova University and performed a thesis work in the chromosome dynamics lab at Instituto Gulbenkian de Ciência here in Portugal. For me, this achievement is a huge event in my life that will reshape it for sure. And I believe things that will come after it is not the same as before it and will be always much better. It's a key step to win my future and to build a career path. For sure, things weren't always that much easy, but I did it, and I couldn't do it without all the help and support from all the people around me, from my supervisors, the people in my lab, friends, family, and the unlimited support from the scholarship, the global platform for Syrian students. If I would do it again, for sure I would do it again. It's one of the best things happened for me in my life, and the whole experience was great. The idea not only that I have survived, but also that I got a chance to be happy in a beautiful place. I got a chance to learn in a good way, to have a wider experience and to explore more. I'm in a safe place, safe environment. I feel protected and I'm not afraid to raise my voice, to state my opinion, to walk on streets, and I feel more free to think, to believe, and to do what I like. I can make my own choices, and it's so important for me that I own my own choices. I have hope, and I'm able to dream more. I was lucky to get this opportunity, and there are many other people who are still waiting for similar opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Salma. Ishra, are you there?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Hello, everyone. I'd like to introduce myself. I am Isra. I am 32 years old. I'm from Daraa, southern Syria, and I am a pharmacist. I have done my master's degree in biopharmaceutical sciences. Well, answering the question, I would start talking about the beginnings. From the first moment I have known it's not going to be easy to do a master's degree in such a different country and different educational system. For me, it was completely different. In the first year, I had to do too much efforts to catch the rhythm of the intensive courses that I had at that time. And they were very well organized. They really expanded my knowledge, and they needed hard working by my side. So every time I passed one course, I was so proud of what I have achieved. And by the end of the first year, I had succeeded in 14 courses, and I was extremely excited about that. So in the second year, I was so motivated, and I was just to start working on my project when COVID-19 came up. Actually, it made it more challenging. It turned my life upside down. I had to replan everything, my writing, my lab work, my experiments. And overall, I had to manage my stress and my worries about finishing on time. So fortunately, I had a collaborative professor who helped me, support me. So I calmed down and I managed to do my defense on last December. Now, after these 2 years, I can say, even though it was so hard for me, but I did it and I achieved a master's degree. And about asking if I will do it again, yes, I'm stepping forward for a harder stage. I'm now preparing to do my PhD in pharmacy, and I believe that I can do it again, and I am fully confident that I can achieve it. So, and this confidence raised from the achievement that I have done in that extraordinary conditions, actually. And yes, I'm thankful for Global Platform for Syrian students, because it's not only make the dreams to come true, but also they give me the chance to live. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Isra. Thank you all for sharing your experience with us, and good luck for the next steps, and hopefully you will find a job soon. Let us now listen to a new group of students. They are still going through their academic journeys. Some are almost done, others are just beginning. Let me start with the two sisters who are studying medical dentistry at the Catholic University in Viseu in the north of Portugal. What I would like to ask this group is, what are the main advantages of your scholarship program? Amira and Sham, are you there?
Yes.
Please
Hello,
share.
everyone. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to participate in this event. Actually, about the advantages I got from this scholarship, I can say that this opportunity changed my life completely. On the education level, I had the opportunity to be taught by excellent professors in one of the most or the best dental medicine schools in Portugal, and I also learned a new language, and I achieved a lot of knowledge and learned a lot of things during this period. And about my personal life, also living alone with my sister made me more responsible. I was able to depend on myself in many aspects of my life, and this made me stronger and more aware about the responsibilities that I need to face in my future life as an adult. Yes, and I think that this experience was a life-changing experience that would enable me to achieve my dreams and be able to help people in my country in the future. Thank you.
Sham?
Hello, I am Sham, and I am from Hama, a city in the middle of Syria, and I am studying dentistry in the Catholic University in Viseu, which is also in the central region of Portugal. So I was accepted in the global platform for Syrian students in 2018. And I would say that getting this opportunity has a huge benefits on me personally by being responsible about everything in my life, which made of me a more mature person, and also meeting people from different cultures and countries. This was very interesting to know other people and to recognize our differences. However, I am finishing my studies by next year, thanks to the support offered by the global platform, which helped me to achieve my goals and to overcome all the obstacles and difficulties that I have faced during this period. And they are helping me also to pave my way for a successful future, as I hope to be. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm calling Jebrail. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. It's my pleasure to join you in this meeting. And let me introduce myself. I'm Jebrail Kanan. I'm 27 years old from Home City in the middle of Syria. Currently, I live and study in Porto City, Portugal. I'm a graduate medical doctor. I managed to finish my studies in Syria during the conflict. And thanks to Global Platform for Syrian Students, I got the opportunity to continue my postgraduate education and study master's degree in the public health in the University of Porto. I'm now second year student and doing my master thesis research on post-traumatic stress disorder among children and adolescent Syrian children. After the conflict, the healthcare system in Syria in general and mental health services especially have been collapsing. Meanwhile, there is an urgent increased need to support the mental health services and cover the huge gap in the Syrian medical research for accurate and effective intervention design, which need highly educated and experienced professionals. This scholarship provides me with the appropriate living conditions and the academic environment, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. I had all of the needed support to help me overcoming the emerged limitation. And in a personal level, it's helped me a lot. It's made me more responsible of my decisions, of my life, and to my career. Although I'm facing many challenges nowadays in my education due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it was an interesting chance for me also as a public health master student to observe and to learn from this pandemic. Finally, I would like to say that education is the master key to build skilled leaders in different domains. Building educated leaders is the most efficient way to push forward our society, economy, and rebuild our country. This is our great humanitarian responsibility for a bright and peaceful future for us and for the next generations. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm calling now Mustafa. Are you there, Mustafa?
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I am Mustafa. I'm 24 years old, and now I'm finishing my master thesis in computer science in Instituto Superior Técnico, where I also finished my bachelor 2 years ago. And now it has been a year since I started working in a company in Lisbon. I came from a small city in central Syria where some people here mentioned it's called Salamia, and I joined the program 5 years ago. I was actually very lucky to be part of such a program because it didn't only save me the risk of the process of getting a visa or getting an university acceptance and all the risk of such a process, but also it offered me more important unconditional support to integrate in a new society, with learning the language, with getting to grow and success here. And it could have been much more challenging for me if it wasn't for this support. And unfortunately, for many people in the same situation, it has been like a long dark tunnel of 10 years of the war, and opportunities like the global platform is offering. It represents a light in the end of this tunnel, and not only for those individuals, but also for a complete war-torn nation, where education, as was mentioned before, is the key for reconstruction and rebuilding the community that has been destroyed during this 10 years crisis. And in the end, there's no enough words for me to show my gratitude and appreciation for the support that the global platform had given me. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mustafa. Emad, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Good morning, everyone. My name is Imad Swede. I am a master's degree student of mechanical engineering in the Polytechnic of Braganza. I am from Damascus, Syria, and I want to share with you the story of my life, which started in 2014. No, it wasn't the year that I got born, but it was the year that I got accepted by the scholarship, where I felt a new hope to continue my dreams, achieve my goals, which I think it's the main purpose of life, that everyone, in order to feel alive and to have a purpose and feel the ability to achieve it. And I think no one can achieve a certain goal without having a safe environment that can support this education and these goals and these dreams. And as Erasmus once said, the main hope of a nation lies in the proper education of its youth. So I think this scholarship really empower the Syrian people to rebuild again their country and have a strong foundation to be able to have a good future for this country. And I think it's the best way to support it. And I would like to say that now I am in the end of my master degree journey. I will present my master degree presentation in a few months, and I would like to find a job soon to give back a little bit of what Portugal gave me during all of these years, and all the support from the global platform and the Polytechnical Institute of Braganza. I'm really grateful for all the support I took, and I really hope more students from Syria can take this to continue their journey, because I really think that a lot of people need it. Thank you for letting me share my story, and hope you all have a good day. Thanks.
Thank you, Emma. Thank you for your story. Genwa, are you there?
Yes, hello. My name is Genwa. I'm 20 years old. I came to Portugal 3 years ago when I was 17. I'm currently based in Lisbon. And the question that I kept hearing before, after, during, and even now was, but how could you come here so young? And yes, it was hard. I will not downplay how difficult it was for me to come here alone, away from my family, to a different continent. But is it harder than life in Syria? Is it harder than going to your art class and seeing a horror movie unfold in front of you because that neighborhood has been bombed 5 minutes ago? Or waking up to the sound of bombs and your dad hugging you and convincing you you're not gonna die? No, it's not harder than that. And I would even feel guilty sometimes because I got lucky that I received the scholarship. And there are millions of other Syrian students that are still waiting for the same opportunity and who even were more unfortunate than me because they lost houses or limbs or parents or family. And since I know that it's impossible to give each one of those children a scholarship, I realized that the goal in my life was to solve the root of the problem and do everything in my power to ensure that no one would have to go through these same horrors, which is why I chose to study international relations and political science. I did 2 years of high school here first, and then now I'm in Lisbon studying at the Catholic University of Portugal. And it has really shown me a light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how far the goal seems in rebuilding Syria, we have taken the first step. For example, in my university, just in the first semester, I studied the basics of economics, theory of international relations, political systems and regimes. It was very fascinating for me because the theories of democracy, because this is not something I have a lot of experience with. And in my high school and university, I got connected with many international and European students and professors in my field, while through the Global Platform for Syrian Students, I got connected with Syrian students from other fields. So for example, I have friends with architecture, business administration, pharmacy, etc. So this really builds a complete picture in rebuilding Syria, and this gives me hope. And if I manage to leave Syria, no matter how impossible that seemed through the global platform, then I can see that we can rebuild Syria also through education. So thank you for giving us this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to making everyone who invested in us proud.
Thank you. Thank you for all your very stimulating personal stories. Last but not least, we have a final group of 4 ladies who have completed their degrees and enter into the job market. To you, I would like to ask, how did the education empower you? Arwan, are you there?
Yes, hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to participate in this event. My name is Arwa. I'm from Homs. I'm a civil engineer, and I did my master in Covilhã, in a small city in the mountain. Now I'm living in Lisbon and working in a Portuguese construction firm for more than 3 years. I'm so satisfied, glad, and enjoying each minute in my work. 5 years ago, I got an opportunity to do my master degree through the global platform. And it was one of the best things that I ever had in my life. They give me a huge support, put me on the first step of success to achieve my goals, and also opened the door for more and more opportunities. Since that time, my life has changed. And now I can say I'm completely independent for being highly educated, involved in the job market actively, building my career, and looking for the future with more confidence. For sure, there are more dreams need to become true, and more achievements to do. I have to work harder to make them true. Maybe in the future, I can come back home, share my knowledge, and participate to rebuild all the destroyed cities. At the end, I would like to mention one quote I came across one day. It says, "One seed can make a garden," and the global platform has planted many seeds, can really make a difference in this life. Thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you for a beautiful picture. And I'm asking now for Jumana.
Yes, good morning, everyone. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Sumana from Damascus. I'm 27 years old. I'm a telecommunication engineer. Before I came to Portugal, I graduated as a first-rank student among my colleagues with excellent classification after 5 years of studying at the university in Damascus. After 2 years, I was accepted by a global platform for Syrian students scholarship in 2018 to study for a master's degree at Cairo University. Due to my excellent bachelor record, this helped me to get an accreditation to all my master courses, and thus I had a full time to work on my thesis. For after 1 year, I finished my master with a high grade 18 out of 20. Fortunately, on the same day of my thesis defense in December 2019, I had a meeting to start working as a researcher in the Institute of Telecommunication at Cairo University, and I got the position. Meanwhile, because of the support from Global Platform for Syrian Students, I was able to start my PhD in wireless communication. Now I have finished my first year and waiting to gain more knowledge from the upcoming years. Portugal gave me this wonderful opportunity to continue my study in such advanced scientific field. Now I can say yes, I'm on my way to achieving my goal, but I would not stop here. It's really important to keep seeking for getting more and more and share what I have learned to contribute as best as I can. Last but not least, I would like to thank a Global Platform for Syrian Students for giving me this opportunity, which gave me the chance to make new life and build a family here in this lovely community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jumana. Maha, are you there? I'd like to hear you.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you for sharing us today these kind of stories. I'm Maha from Idlib in Syria, north of Syria. I'm 20 years old. I came to Portugal since 2018. I'm informatics engineer. I started my master degree in Portugal in computer science and finished it in 2020. During this time, I got really nice opportunity to be intern in one of the IT companies here in Porto. And this gave me very nice experience to be part of the job field. After that, when I graduated, it wasn't that easy because of the coronavirus situation, but finally I got a really nice job as DevOps engineer, DevOps and infrastructure engineer in other IT company. Portuguese IT company, and we are working directly right now for BMW. So it's really nice opportunity for me. It gave me other life, beautiful life, because when I was in Syria, I remember myself in 2017 and the beginning of 18. I was really depressed. I felt like my dreams were broken, one by one. And when I got this opportunity, this scholarship, my life definitely changed. And right now I can achieve most of my goals and support myself, support my family. In the future, we can do something, really something positive for our country, because we need it. We need to help each other, to support the next generation. And we can do that if we are not strong. So I'm really grateful to our scholarship, to this opportunity to Portugal too, because we have a really nice life right now, and we hope some students from Syria will come again and have the same to start new life, to start a new opportunity. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maha. Thank you very much for your story. And I'm now calling Doa. Are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Welcome.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay.
Let me introduce myself at first. My name is Dua Assaf. I'm from the capital, Damascus. I live now in Porto, Portugal. And to give you an idea of what I'm doing now, actually, I finished my master's degree in informatics in Portugal, in Porto, and now I'm doing two things. Like in one hand, I'm a PhD student in cyber threat intelligence, and on the other hand, I'm working as a cybersecurity analyst in the cyber defense team in Euronext. It's the first European stock exchange. And for non-IT technical people, I think it's better to say like we are defending against bad guys and the evil in the world, and in using technology and science. So, however, speaking of what's matter for today, if I would say like if you would ask young Dua like 3 or 4 years ago, if she would have imagined that she's gonna be here today, she would definitely say no, because it was a very good opportunity for me, and I'm truly proud of it. And for now, after being reborn in Portugal on the Portuguese ground, in the past, it has been always like a glass between you and your dreams. You can see them, but you can't reach them. You can't work on them. I mean, in Syria. But for now, after 2 years of being in Portugal, it's like this glass was shattered, and at some point you realize that. And I would say like I would share this small, let's say, memory with you, that when I was in Syria, I had a list of the things that I wanted to do, the things that I hope to do. And you'd be surprised of the simple things that's in there, the content of that list, but for now, most of it's almost like already done, or it's ongoing, and that's make me really proud. And thanks for Dr. Helena for the global platform, for all your effort and support here.
So you broke the glass between you and your dream.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Doa. Thank you to all the students for their amazing testimonials. But all that wouldn't be possible without other key players acting on the ground, supporting this program, funding it. I am therefore most pleased to introduce you another panel made of 4 high-level speakers. They will explain us what is their role, what they have been doing to support this successful scholarship program, and also we will hear about what are the needs on the ground in Syria after 10 years of conflict, and what is the impact of the war on higher education. So let me introduce our first speaker, Mr. Francisco André, Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs and Cooperation in Portugal. Mr. Francisco André.
Good morning. Yes, good morning, and thank you very much.
Okay, go ahead.
Your Excellency, the Secretary of State of Science, Technology and Higher Education of Portugal, João Sobrinho Teixeira, Her Royal Highness the Infanta Cristina of Spain, Director of the International Area of La Caixa Foundation, Executive Secretary of the Economic and Social Commission for Western Asia of the United Nations, Rola Dashti, dear panelists, speakers, and esteemed students and distinguished guests and participants. Let me, as it was asked, let me summarize my intervention and underline just a few points. Portugal pays particular attention to the realization of economic, social, and cultural rights, and therefore the right to education is a priority for us. Education is an essential human right. It fosters personal development, creating and enabling conditions for each person to fulfill their potential. It allows every person to contribute to the community they live in. In crisis situations, the right to education is even more crucial. It provides protection, enhance resilience, and build a stronger foundation to consolidate peace and prevent a relapse into conflict what we now call the triple nexus approach. Investing in education within the humanitarian response is an investment in an entire generation. And all the evidence shows investing in higher education in emergencies pays off. We are committed to realize the right to education and, in particular, to boost higher education opportunities for refugees, IDPs, forcibly displaced, and, in general, young women and men who are in fragile settings or facing emergencies. The Global Compact for Refugees is a unique opportunity to advance our joint action in tackling refugee-related matters. We have been contributing to the Sustainable Resettlement and Complementary Pathways Initiative, co-led by the UNHCR and the IOM. And in this context, Portugal also has been particularly active in the Global Task Force on Third Country Education Pathways. Together with the task force partners, we are committed to achieve the target of extending access to higher education opportunities to 15% of the refugee community until 2030, compared to the current 3% enrolled in higher education. Linked to this commitment, Portugal supports, both institutionally and financially, the global platform and its rapid response mechanism. Since 2018, our voluntary contributions total almost 600,000 euros. In addition, Portugal fully supports advocacy actions developed by the global platform vis-à-vis the European institutions that aim at raising awareness over the need to expand higher education opportunities in Europe as complementary legal pathways. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, higher education enables motivation, innovation, and entrepreneurial skills that are key for economic activity and job creation, critical elements for stability during times of reconstruction and for longer-term sustainable development. Furthermore, higher education is a powerful driver for resilience, empowerment, and integration in host societies. We have seen this reflected today in the very inspiring stories of our students. Their examples show how much education is shaping the next generation of future leaders, teachers, doctors, artists, men and women like Mariam, William, Doa, Arwa, and all the others. The Global Platform offers an emergency scholarship program that helps to prevent a loss of a generation of university graduates. But it aims at scaling up, at finding new partners and pooling more resources. Portugal is committed to supporting its work both institutionally and financially, and we invite you and all the others to join our efforts and work together to make a difference. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me now give the floor to Dr. Rola Dasti, Director, Executive Secretary of the Economic and Social Commission, Western Asia of United States. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you, Candida. President Sampaio, Francisco Andres, Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs and Cooperation, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues and friends. Thank you first for the invitation. It's my great pleasure to join you today at this very important session and address the issue of higher education and its importance for the future of Syria. As we all know, the human and the social toll of the conflict in Syria has been devastating. The conflict's effect on infrastructure, the economy, and the social fabric have been detrimental and costed around $450 billion. Empowering the conflict generation of Syrian children and youth through innovative investment in education is very crucial for enhancing resilience, boosting socioeconomic recovery, and peace building. Initiatives like the Portuguese Scholarship Emergency Program aim to promote education, and particularly higher education, are crucial for post-conflict recovery and better social cohesion. As many of you know, ASQA launched the National Agenda for the Future of Syria, NAFS program, in 2012 to serve as a platform for dialogue for a wide spectrum of Syrian stakeholders from different walks of life and from across the political spectrum. Education is an area of great importance for the NAFS program. NAFS work has addressed the implication of the conflict on the education sector and proposed ways to overcome the challenges it faces. The NAFS program has had the pleasure to work with the Global Platform for Syrian Students in developing the summer school of 2018. Higher education sector has extensively suffered from a brain drain among its faculty and administrative staff in Syria. Official figures specify that the total loss in teaching staff has reached about 22%. According to our big data analysis project, the Syrian refugees have been struggling but keeping up with their host communities' education level up to the university level. Then refugees slipped to around 25% below their host counterparts. Syria higher education situation and system had witnessed notable changes. For instance, a drop in the number of applicants, high school graduates, and the lack of recognition of certain diplomas obtained. Also, a drop in the number of students enrolled in higher education. Third, a notable drop in the number of higher education graduates with master's degree or PhD, which in turn has affected the production of scientific research in Syrian universities. It's nice to hear that the scholarship program is supporting students like Jibrail, Mustafa, Jumana, Dua, and others to pursue master's and PhD degrees. To address these challenges and empower higher education and the role it would play in the future of Syria, I would like to share with you some relevant thoughts and recommendations. First, we need to invest more in initiatives that promote higher education, like the Portuguese Scholarship Program, to create further opportunities for the students to use the knowledge they acquire to act and promote for peace building. Second, women need focused attention and higher education opportunities, since they are disadvantaged by cultural and security pressures. Third, refugees are connected communities, and this potential must be channeled for education at all levels, especially for higher education and empowerment. And last, we need to enhance vocational education and trainings to provide students with more options and provide trainings to teaching personnel. At the end, I would also like to address a few words to the inspiring students of Syria, which we heard from, the graduates and those who are benefiting from this program. I would encourage you all to keep in touch with each other. Share and transfer as much as you can the experiences you lived through this program to a wider network of students from Syria. You are the driving forces for the sustainable future of Syria. Your social action and economic contribution will be critical for the development and growth of future Syria. I thank you very much, and I want to commit that ESCWA is ready also to support in any way mechanisms we can. Thank you very much for the invitation. Over.
Thank you, Dr. Rola Dasti. And now we will listen to Royal Highness Infanta Cristina de Bourbon, Director of International Affairs at La Caixa Foundation in Spain. Welcome.
Okay. Bom dia a todos.
Bom dia.
Bom dia. Como directora da área da Fundação La Caixa, é para mim grande prazer participar neste side event tão interessante e relevante, e gostaria de agradecer especialmente a the Global Platform for Syrian Students e the Permanent Representation of Portugal to the European Union por organizar. I will give you a brief introduction about Caixa Foundation for all of you who don't really know us very well. So La Caixa Foundation was founded in 1904, and since its origin, it has been driven by a strong social commitment and a vocation to work in favor of the common good, both through its financial activity and its welfare programs, which support social, educational, culture, and scientific programs. The foundation focuses especially on programs that aim to have the most transformational impact, such as those that fight child poverty and social exclusion, that promote employment, and those that help improve the living conditions of the most vulnerable people. The activity of the foundation in Spain, in Portugal in collaboration with BPI, and internationally also reaches other areas. medical research, training of excellence, culture and education, which are critical to promote progress and equal opportunities for all. One of the programs we support in Portugal is this scholarship, in partnership with the Global Platform for Syrian Students, which began 3 years ago. The commitment of our foundation with the Global Platform is very easy to explain. We share a common mission to build a better and fairer society, providing more opportunities to those in most need. We are both committed to responding to emergencies. And we're also committed to providing a high quality educational programs as a way to invest in the future. In our case, through a very solid and long-running scholarship program, the digital education program called futuro. On the other hand, all over these years, while we have promoted educational programs in refugee camps for children and young students, we have also understood the need for higher education support for those students who have had to stop their studies, their careers, and their futures because of conflict. Supporting all of you students to finish your studies and take your master's degrees will certainly give you a better chance to find jobs and hopefully engage you to help reconstruct your torn countries and improve the lives of your fellow citizens and communities. Programs such as this one yield clear, tangible results. Students getting their degrees, masters, and have transparent processes. The results are easy to communicate and the student stories are very, very compelling and moving to the general public, to all of us that we're very close to you, who acknowledge their effort and determination to continue their studies despite all the difficulties. And this is why the Caixa Foundation is so proud to help support a program like this one. We're very pleased to confess that without a doubt, this scholarship program for Syrian students is one of our favorite programs. It is indeed very dear to all of us at the Caixa Foundation. We humbly think and want to believe that all the programs that we support are very important and relevant, but it is true that when we talk about involving education, youth, conflict situations, it gives us a very special satisfaction. For many reasons. Because as we said, we're aware of the importance of education and training, because we know that for young people who live in conflict and emergency situations, it is far more difficult to complete their studies than those who live in normal circumstances. And because it has been widely mentioned, the vast majority of educational programs are not focused on tertiary education. Supporting new students is clearly an investment for the future. Without a prepared and educated population, it is very difficult to rebuild a country. Students often claim, and rightly so, that a college of education is not a luxury, it is necessary. Just as any other young person anywhere in the world, you just want to learn and fend for yourselves. In their own words, what they ask from us is, don't give me a fish, teach me how to fish. Because ultimately, as our chairman, Mr. Isidro Fainé, often says, what this is all about is about providing opportunities. And it is a moral obligation for the public sector, the private sector, foundations, philanthropy, the academic community, etc., to join forces to provide these opportunities. Very few things can be more rewarding than seeing young people excited about their studies and proud to finish degrees, masters, doctorates that will allow them to face the future well prepared and with more people and more hope. I would just like to finish by highlighting the slogan of La Caixa Foundation for this year, which is, it is only progress if we all make progress. Thank you very much. All the best to all of you. Muito obrigada.
Muito obrigado, Sua Alteza Infanta Cristina. Indeed, financial support is critical for these kind of initiatives. I know that the Global Platform, further to Portuguese funds, has been strongly supported by international partners and philanthropies from various countries such as the United States, Kuwait, and others. Let me now give the floor to our last speaker in this panel, Mr. Sobrinho Teixeira, Secretary of State for Science, Technology, and Higher Education in Portugal. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Candida. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I wish first to compliment our President, Jorge Sampaio, Pedro Costa from the Portuguese representation in the European Union, of course, my colleague in government, and Francisco André, Rola Deschi from United Nations, and Infante Cristina from the Caixa Foundation. Also, all the students that are here today, and also the institutional leaders, researchers, and teachers that are involved in this platform. It is a great pleasure to be able to speak with you and to see the progress in qualification for many of you, the integration that we have with our young people and our society. A few years ago, when I was president of Polytechnic of Bragança, I had the opportunity to join the platform created by our president, Jorge Sampaio, and receive in Bragança a group of young seers who took exactly this route. I have also opportunity to see two of them today, and for me, it's a very happy occasion. Later in the government, I had also the opportunity to participate in public policies that in 2018 and 2019 produced legislation that came to create the legal framework for the entry of students in situation of humanitarian emergency in our higher education institutions, safeguarding that students are guaranteed full access to social aid, including the award of scholarships and the equivalence to national students for purpose of paying tuition fees and emoluments. The diploma also provides for the possibility of applying alternative procedures to verify the conditions of access and admission by students in emergent situation humanitarian reasons, when their qualification cannot be documented. Qualified people is the best way to prepare them to the future, to achieve efficiencies in their work, to promote social migration between the poor and the rich, and to guarantee our collective future by defending the civilizational model that we have built and want to build. Qualified people is the best way to combat despots and dictators, provider and equality. Every time that a man qualifies, humanity gets better. Qualification is the real weapon of good men. Lack of skills is certainly the biggest problem in the least developed countries. But unfortunately, it's also more and more a problem in more developed countries. The way we communicate today, or how we receive that communication, how difficult it is today to understand what is a lie and what is true, leaves the least qualified people in the most developed countries in a vulnerable position. Situations that we thought improbable or impossible a few years ago in these countries, like the resurgence of populism, nationalism, xenophobic or racist phenomena, find accommodation not in those who are worse than us or who have worse feelings than ours, but in those who have not lucky enough to qualify. Therefore, qualification is a global and universal battle and the best way to defend our civilizational model and our collective future. Our condition to all who work for more and more qualified men. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Many thanks to our guest speakers. Now let's watch a video message that just arrived from Kuwait, from the Sheikh Abdulaziz Al Babtain, another strong supporter of the Syrian students. Let's watch it.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على كل الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آلهم وصحبهم أجمعين. فخامة الرئيس جورج سامبايو رئيس البرتغال السابق، السادة السفراء، أبناء الطلبة من سوريا، السيدات والسادة المشاركون في الندوة، أود في البداية أن أشكر أخي وصديقي الرئيس سامبايو الذي دعاني لتقديم شهادة حول مسألة الطلبة السوريين الذين يدرسون في البرتغال وغيرها من دول أوروبية. وينبغي التأكيد بأن الفضل في احتضان هؤلاء الطلبة إنما هو للرئيس سامبايو الذي أسس منذ عام 2014 برنامج المنحة العاجلة للطلبة السوريين الذين لجأوا إلى أوروبا، وذلك من أجل مساعدتهم على استكمال دراساتهم. أذكر جيداً حين خاطبني فخامة الرئيس للمساهمة في مبادرته تلك، لبيت دعوته دون تردد، فذلك واجب إنساني سام وهدف نبيل، ولقد كنت وما زلت سعيداً للقيام بذلك. إن بادرته تكاد تكون بادرة فريدة من نوعها في العالم في هذا الإطار، وهي في جوهر العمل الإنساني الأكثر نفعاً لأجيال المستقبل الذي نعمل من أجله من خلال مؤسستنا، مؤسسة عبد العزيز سعود البابطين الثقافية، منذ أكثر من 30 سنة. ويسعدني في هذا المقام أن أذكر ببرنامج عملنا مع رئاسة الجمعية العامة للأمم المتحدة حول تدريس ثقافة السلام من أجل أمن أجيال المستقبل، الذي أعددنا في سياقه 17 منهجاً بدءاً من الحضانة إلى الجامعة، الذي تستفيد من تدريسها اليوم أكثر من 100 مؤسسة تعليمية في العالم، وستقوم أيضاً مئات المؤسسات الأخرى بتدريسها حالما ننهي ترجمتها إلى الفرنسية والعربية والإسبانية. إننا نحتاج اليوم إلى مثل مبادرة الرئيس سامبايو ومبادرة مؤسستنا وغيرها، لأنها مبادرات عملية تبدأ من العاطفة لتكون فعلا استراتيجيا هدفه بناء الإنسان وتحث مصيره، بل إنها الأنفع على الإطلاق بوصفها تساعد في حل الصراعات والحروب الأهلية، فالمتعلم هو أول من يساهم في إحلال السلام العادل بين أهله وبين الدول. لقد استمرت مساهمتي طيلة السنوات الست الماضية لعشرات منكم، وأني لا أقدر على وصف سعادتي الغامرة حين كنت أقرأ رسائل الرئيس سامبايو التي يخبرني فيها عن التقائكم من سنة إلى أخرى وعن نجاحكم في الإجازة وفي الماجستير والدكتوراه. لقد أنهيت منذ أيام كتابة مذكراتي وذكرياتي التي ستصدر قريبا باللغتين العربية والإنجليزية، وقد ذكرت فيها السبب الحقيقي الذي جعلني أقف إلى جانبكم وأدعمكم دون تردد. ففي بداية السبعينيات من القرن الماضي أكبر مبلغ مالي في حياتي، عندها شعرت أن نوافذ الأحلام القديمة آن أوان فتحها مهما تكن النتائج. في تلك الفترة استفاقت في داخلي طفولتي من جديد، واستيقظ داخلي الطفل الذي عاش لوعات الحرمان، أبرزها حرمان استكمال الدراسة. فقررت أن أعوض ذلك من خلال غيري. كنت أريد أن أرى حلمي يتجسد في الطلاب الذين لم يستطيعوا استكمال دراستهم. أنا على يقين بأن الإنسان يمكن أن يجد نفسه التي فقدها داخل إنسان آخر، فكل منا له ما يمنحه للآخرين كي يسعدهم. ورغم الشقاء والتعب والعناء الذي بذلته في جمع المبلغ الأول، إلا أنني لم أستأثر به لنفسي، بل قررت أن يكون جزءاً منه وسيلة لتحقيق طموحات الذين حرمتهم ظروفهم من المضي في دراستهم وتحقيق طموحاتهم. فأنشأت في عام 1974 بعثة سعود البابطين الكويتية للدراسات العليا باسم والدي رحمه الله، وهي تهدف إلى مساعدة الطلبة المتفوقين في دراستهم على استكمالها في الجامعة. وتوسعت هذه البعثة لتشمل طلبة من مختلف دول العالم لاحقا. والحمد لله أنكم جزء من هذا الحلم الذي به يعيش اليوم. لذلك فإني أرى فيكم اليوم نفسي. أبنائي الأعزاء، إن نجاحكم نجاحي وفرحكم فرحي، وأني أحثكم على المساهمة في بناء وطنكم العزيز علينا متى تمكنتم من العودة إليه سالمين غانمين، وأن تنفعوا بالعلوم التي تعلمتموها أبناء الوطن من أهل وأخوة وأقارب، فهذا واجبكم. وفي الختام، إن اعتزازي بكم لا حدود له، هو اعتزاز كبير. لذلك أقول لكم: اصنعوا تواريخكم من اليوم، فسوف تحتاجون إليها بعد سنوات من العمر، حين يغيب الزمن الكثير من الناس والكثير من الأشياء التي أحببناها. كونوا على يقين بأن الغد سيصبح أجمل وأفضل بعلومكم، وستتقلدون مسؤوليات مهمة في بلدكم، فكونوا أوفياء له. أنتم تطلون على المستقبل بتفاؤل كبير وأمل عظيم، فضعوا اليد في اليد وكونوا رسل سلام ومحبة، وتذكروا أن العلم نور. وفقكم الله وسدد خطاكم وفتح أمامكم كل مناهل المعرفة. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you, Sheikh Abdulaziz Al Baktain, for your message. It is now time to listen to other testimonials from the ground and give the floor to some voices from the academic community, to those who daily deal with students and try to integrate them. We have a number of testimonials, very diverse. So I would like to ask you to introduce yourselves. And afterwards, because we are running out of time, let me suggest that you focus on your experience of integrating these students, these students with a different background. What are the main challenges and what is your experience? And if it's possible, give us examples of this process. You know, you have 3 minutes each, so let me give the floor to Professora Cecília Rodrigues from the Faculty of Pharmacy at the University of Lisbon.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm really thankful for this opportunity. It is a pleasure to be here today as part of the academic community to give our testimony. As you said, I'm full professor at the Faculty of Pharmacy, University of Lisbon, in Lisbon, Portugal, and I also direct a master's in biopharmaceutical sciences, taught in English, where Syrian students graduated from this year with excellent marks, by the way. Congratulations, Ranim and Isra. This experience with the Global Platform for Syrian Students actually provided us with the opportunity of somehow learning collectively the crucial value of higher education and the crucial value that it supports, providing really this to those displaced by conflicts, alongside with, of course, other essential provision for other basic needs. In addition to this, and based on our own experience in health sciences and health technologies, really fostering diversity, inclusion, and non-discrimination always creates the right environment for innovation that is so much needed in our fields. And this flourishes and generates added value for all involved, for sure. This has been a learning curve for us, and this has really shown us the importance of effective response mechanisms, including cooperation, that together will contribute to this strategic coordination demanded by the crisis. And thanks to Ranim and to Isra and others, we have now been blessed by a better understanding, really, of the tremendous force for change that higher education may have, acting as powerful drivers to unlock the potential role of these young men and young women in sustaining the social fabric, promoting peace, and recovering and rebuilding post-conflict countries. There is nonetheless for us a number of challenges that we face while providing higher education programs in conflict and crisis situations. First, there is a lack of opportunities provided as compared to the overall level of demand. Indeed, we need to boost placements in higher education for those in need, particularly for women, and we are looking into that. Further, there is also a challenging in communicating these opportunities, such as scholarships or training programs, to potential refugee applicants. And this perhaps can be accomplished through this expanding networking of past and present students. And here at the Faculty of Pharmacy, University of Lisbon, we really look forward to working together to tackle these and other challenges that we have identifying. Simply do more and do better in the future. So a decade after the conflict has started and in the midst of a pandemic that has really aggravated pre-existing vulnerabilities, it is more important than ever to ensure collaborative efforts, such as this one that we are undertaking with the Global Platform for Syrian Students, to secure a brighter future for Syria's youth through higher education and opportunities. Ranim and Isra are now applying to our PhD program in medicines and pharmaceutical innovation. And we are very proud of that. And we wish them continued great success for their academic paths. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Professora Cecília Rodrigues. Now we are looking for Professor Luís Pais, Vice President of Polytechnic Institute of Bragança. Good morning.
Good morning, Candida Pinto. It's a pleasure to participate in this event of Global Platform. And considering IPB, so it's a huge pleasure because, as you know, this is our DNA to be an international institution. Mm-hmm. And in that way, be part of this global platform was a way of being even more global, with more multi-national nationalities and cultures inside our institution. Considering the challenges and giving some kind of a new insight, I would like to underline that besides all the efforts of the global platform that is unique, I think we may also recognize the impressive modernization of higher education in Portugal and in Europe in the last 2 decades. So I'm talking about the Bologna process. I'm talking about the concept and methodologies of transfer and accumulation of credits. I'm talking about the good practices on international mobility of students, and I'm talking on the acceptance of shared higher education training. So all of this was of utmost importance for this project, because we were facing Syrian students that were, they stopped their higher education students due to war, with no clear documents and so on. So it was very important, this experience in Portugal and in Europe, through the recognition of the students' prior learning and our capacity to accept that the competencies already achieved by these nice students could be in a different institution, in a different country, in the non-European country, can be recognized and credit in our study programs. So considering these very nice Syrian students, for ourselves, it was a pleasure to be receiving these students. So we already received 5 students, Rami, Nur, Emad, Abdullah, and Amr, all men. So I think it's time now to start receiving women, but I should say that all of these are very strong men and women for sure, and they are example for all the students. And it was very nice to see them to get our diploma, to go to further studies at master and PhD level, and for being also very nice professionals, including in Portugal. So many thanks to Global Platform, to the President Jorge Sampaio, and to Dr. Helena Barroco for this very nice commitment and initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Luís Pais. I'm calling now Professor Lívia Franco in Lisbon. He's a professor and a senior researcher at the Institute of Political Science at the Catholic University.
Yes, hi, hello everyone. Good morning, Candida. I'm very pleased to be here and to have had the opportunity to listen to these inspiring students and their brave testimonials. My name is Lívia Franco, and I'm a professor and senior researcher at the Institute for Political Studies at the Catholic University of Portugal. And last semester, I had Renoir Hassam as my student on a first-year mandatory course in the BA on Political Science and International Relations. It is a course in theory of international relations, and I've been teaching it for more than 2 decades now. And as every year, around 100 students were enrolled in the course. Despite having a lot of students, my classes are very interactive, and I usually get to know students quickly and even learn their names after a few weeks. It so happened that because of the COVID-19 pandemic, during the previous semester, classes were all held online. And with Zoom, the task becomes, of course, more difficult. Nevertheless, right from the first lessons, I started to notice that there was one student with a somewhat shy but very articulate voice, asking me very pertinent questions. She always spoke in English, even though the classes were taught in Portuguese. It wasn't the fact that she spoke in a foreign language that caught my attention. We receive a lot of Erasmus students, and that's normal. It was rather the sophistication and depth of her questions. After all, I'm talking about first-year students who are very young. Most of them have just arrived at university and are barely 18. It was because of the way Renoir asked questions or answered mine that I first noticed her. However, it was only during the grading of the first written test that I confirmed that Renoir was an unusual student. Without much hesitation, I gave her the best mark. Of course, at this point, I was really curious. Who was this student? Where did she come from? What was her background? We were already halfway through the semester when I called the student's office to find answers to these questions. And only then did I learn that she was a Syrian student who had arrived in Portugal through the global platform for Syrian students. The organization of this event asked me what the main advantages of this program for the university and the faculty are. I don't work with the Student Affairs Office or the administrative services of the university, so from that point of view, I can't have anything useful. But I'm a faculty member, and from this perspective, I think the experience is excellent. First and foremost, and considering the area of study I teach, it is easy to understand the importance of having foreign students, not only from Europe, but from other regions of the world. After all, mine is a course in international politics. I work from a cosmopolitan perspective of the world, and therefore it is an added value to find knowledge and opinion in my classes that reflect the diversity of the international system. The dynamics of the Middle East in particular are among those that have most impacted the international agenda. Finding between my students someone who comes from there and knows that reality well challenges me to be rigorous and to go beyond bookish knowledge. The theories that students learn in my course are only tools that help to analyze and understand international facts. Theories by itself are not the object of study. Reality is. Having Renoir in my classes constantly reminded me of this and encouraged me every day to raise my teaching's scientific and pedagogical bar. At the end of the semester, Renoir obtained the highest mark in the class. Oh. Why? Because she came from Syria? Because she had a scholarship? No. She got the highest mark because she was the student who showed the best understanding of how one should analyze and understand international relations. Because she worked hard and read the suggested readings. Because she showed greater independence and intellectual honesty. The merit was entirely hers. After all, I believe that a good student is a good student anywhere in the world. But she or he must have the opportunity of a good education, an opportunity to study not only in a university that functions well and is scientifically reputed, but also which is surrounded by a quiet and safe environment. That's what really makes the difference. And I believe that's precisely what the global platform for Syrian students offers to its students and what Renoir found in Portugal and at the Catholic University. Please keep coming and thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Olivia Franco. Let's now go to Viseu, to her Professor Maria Filomena Capucho, professor at the Catholic University. Please.
Good morning, everybody. And let me share with you my joy to be here, my joy to see Amira and Sham, my very good students amongst you, and maybe share a few thoughts about their experience here and our experience with them. I teach at the medical dentistry school, I teach communication, and I'm also the head of the International Affairs Office in Viseu, which is a small provincial campus of, I would say we have 300 students, and usually we have around 20% of international students, although courses are run in Portuguese. And one day, I learned that we would have 2 Syrian students arriving. Didn't know anything about them. I only knew that they were supported by the platform and that I was in charge of welcoming them and helping them. When they arrived, they were foreigners. They were foreigners because they were seen as foreigners and they were feeling as foreigners. They didn't belong here. Everything was new to them. The university, the city, the lodging, the supermarket, daily routines, their colleagues, their professors. And my role was first to teach them Portuguese, which they learned so very quickly, in order to allow them to understand the classes and follow the lectures. Well, they could read in English their literature, but in order to participate in the classes, they need to know Portuguese. And little by little, there was a full change, not only in the girls, as I call them, but also in the whole community at university. My colleagues learned to be flexible and to appreciate Amira and Sham's flexibility and confidence and honesty. And I can remember one day one teacher was telling me, I let them use Google for their problems in Portuguese because I'm sure they are not going to cheat. They are so very trustable. At the same time, all the other students could see an example of resilience, of intelligence, of perseveration, of will. And this was extremely important for all the students because they had an example of people who had met many more difficulties than they were. They were comfortably in their home country, being parents and living a good life. They had gone through a very difficult experience, and very soon they were better than they were. And especially their position in the community and their willingness and their flexibility and their openness to the world and the others. So now I don't see them very often because they don't need me any longer. We miss each other a lot. We write to each other on WhatsApp, but I'm very, very proud of them. And I think that their presence was actually a win-win situation for the institution. They have changed, we have changed, and I think we are all better than we were before. So thank you for the platform, and thank you, Amira and Sham, for being whom you are.
Thank you, Professora Maria Filomena Capucho. Let's hear now Rodrigo Fernandes is a student and he has a master thesis on 6 Syrian students. Please tell us about that. What did you discover?
So hello, good afternoon or good morning all. Yeah, I am doing research. I study social sciences and international relations, and I've studied the Syrian crisis since the beginning for my own interest. And when I came to Portugal, I ended up meeting a friend, one of the friends who provided me a bridge between the other Syrians, and I decided to do my research and work on my thesis related on their experience. So I've been learning a lot since I'm writing this, since I'm working on this. I'd like to stress the relevance of such programs to work with the government and to help in the governmental practices to integrate these students. And as it has been mentioned before, not only at the educational level, but that these practices are driven towards promoting a truly and full integration and embrace the immigrants in their hosting communities. It comes from teaching the language, providing psychological aid, help dealing with documents, and trivial things such as like where to buy a specific product in the market, which market is best to buy something, or which bus to get, where to play basketball, things that help immigrants, because for sometimes it's hard to be integrated in the community. You are kind of isolated in the beginning. This is what I've seen with the experiences shared with my interviewees. And also events such as this conference are very important to create a field. After all, I'm learning about you all, not only about our friends, the Syrians, but about all the work you have been doing and creating these bonds, right? And creating a field to integrate all the stakeholders, which are very varied, because we have the local community, which is not academic, but they are also going to live in the same society. So we need to all work together and create a bond between the local community and the immigrants, students, teachers, researchers, entrepreneurs and workers. So experiences, opportunities can be shared as well. Maybe you can find someone who can work with you in a specific project. And these bonds are only created after these events, such as this one is happening. I hope we can have them in person when the pandemic finishes, so we can create an even stronger bond. And that's it. We have to boost the integration of the immigrants and provide all of these and build a society on the values of freedom, education, and respect, as it was mentioned by Maria Filomena Capucho. It's not just about the educational level, but the full integration in all the perspectives. I've worked with other immigrants too that are not in the program, and this is so important. Like trivial things are so important to be integrated in a society.
Thank you, Rodrigo. Very interesting, your words. I'm now calling Dr. Teresa Batista from Coimbra University.
Good morning, everybody. Hello. My connection is not very stable, so I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
I would like to. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
I would like to congratulate the chairman of the Global Platform for Syrian Students, President Jorge Sampaio, for the organization of this important event, aimed to following the development and future paths of the Emergency Scholarship Program for Syrian students, launched in 2013. I also would like to thank Dr. Helena Barroco for inviting me to be here today. My name is Teresa Batista. I'm a member of the staff of Coimbra University, and within the framework of my functions at the Rector's Office, I had the opportunity to be aware of the Emergency Scholarship Program since the earliest steps of the Global Platform. As you all know, the University of Coimbra is an old university with strong recognition of prior higher education qualifications. For many centuries, the academic institution has been open to the world, has valued people, freedom, interaction of cultures, so much so that the former rector, when this project was presented to him, immediately became a partner of the program. Accordingly, in spring term of 2013-2014 academic year, the first 3 Syrian students with scholarships from the Global Platform came to Coimbra University, and I was given the task to welcome, accommodate them, to identify their needs of assistance and to provide the adequate support and tools to their integration at university and in Coimbra. Later on, in October 2014, 2 other students arrived, to be followed by another one in 2000.
The connection
to prepare their arrival.
I'm sorry, Dr. Teresa Batista, the connection is not very good. I ask you if you can be short.
Sorry?
The connection with you, it's not very good. There are many cuts. So if you can be short, we will appreciate, please.
Okay, so I'm just going to say what I did, my work. To prepare the arrival, I had some meetings with the managers of the residents' university homes, and together we did our best to ensure the welfare of the students. Afterwards, I supported the students at the academic services and assist them in other formalities. From what I can remember, there were some issues with their certificate and transcription marks, but everything was quickly sorted out. I helped to evaluate the students' curricula and create conditions for their integration in the right classes in order to pursue their graduation courses. We thought that to facilitate their integration into ordinary local life, they should learn Portuguese, and for that purpose, all courses. The main challenge for the University of Coimbra since the beginning, an enthusiastic and committed partner of this program was to create a channel to support refugee students. In 2016, the university set up a special service for students, academics, and professionals with refugee status under the Geneva Convention and applicable Portuguese law. Cutting short my testimonial, I would like to express that my small role in this important program made a difference in my life. Monitoring the students' evolution along the years and watch their signs of hope and light arise was a great experience. In reality, Syrian students that I've met 7 years ago, in spite of having lived countless conflicts before arriving in Portugal, and in spite of the anxiety of facing a new reality and a different culture, reinforced my belief that we never can our dreams. I'm grateful to Abdallah, Assam, Usam, Mohammed, Munir, and Omar for all the moments we shared together and for becoming dear friends. 4 of them already ended their master and PhD degrees and are now pursuing a professional career in other cities, but we still keep in touch. Finally, I would like to urge the political decision makers, the experts, the donors, the stakeholders, and the higher education institutions to persist in building bridges and gathering synergies to support the global platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Doutora Teresa Batista. Let's now move to Algarve to listen to Doutora Sara Carvalhal, Research Fellow at the University of Algarve. Please go ahead. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon. It's a true pleasure to be here today at this event, even though it's online. And I was some master supervision or her master thesis at the Gulbenkian Science Institute. Since then, I now moved to University of Algarve to open my own lab. And while moving to a different country is very challenging, as everyone spoke very well in the first part of this event. For me and for the science community, having an international environment is something that we look forward. Because when we have a problem, we can bring our culture, our way of seeing the world to that same problem. And sometimes because of that, we see solutions that we couldn't see them before. So having this international environment is something that we look forward. And Salma was exactly that for me and for the master thesis that she developed. And while Salma is a role model for determination, she was very shy to have an opinion about the scientific data. So I would say that my role on her master thesis was to help her to say, I agree or I disagree with this piece of data and this result. And I now know, and it was such a pleasure to hear all of you, that this is possible, or I believe that is a personal trace of all the Syrian people, that you are very focused and very determined to accomplish something. And I learned from Salma that we can overcome any difficulty at any time, and doesn't matter what is the problem, we always will find a solution. And I'm very thankful for that. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Sara Carvalhal. Let me say that the platform has 5 students in Spain, and now we're going to hear Dr. Katy Jerez, coordinator of the support program of the University of Barcelona for refugees and people from conflict zones. Very welcome.
Thank you very much, Candida. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for this amazing initiative. It's a pleasure to be here sharing with you the support program of the University of Barcelona for refugees and people from conflict zones. In these minutes, I would like to point out that we cannot have democratic, diverse, and fair societies without social, educative, and economic inclusion of refugees. We cannot have this kind of societies without solidarity and without engagement and involvement of all the political, economic, and social agents. And the university is one of these social agents that can contribute to promote access to higher education and social inclusion of refugees, asylum seekers, stateless people, and people in refugee-like situations. And this is the aim of the University of Barcelona Refugee Support Program that started in 2015 and that I coordinate under the umbrella of the University of Barcelona Solidarity Foundation. We know that there is a wide range of issues that prevent refugee students from accessing higher education. I can mention as the top 5, lack of recognition of prior learning that Dr. Rola Dashti has mentioned before, lack of reliable information, lack of availability of a scholarship that has been mentioned by other students, legal status, and the lack or difficulties of their social and economic integrations, where we can find topics related to language learning, psychosocial support, sense of belonging, stereotypes, etc. And this program wants to work these elements through a comprehensive approach that involves the whole community, the university community, students, teachers, administrative staff, key stakeholders as international actors, as the platforms, as the platform and our common collaboration. They are supporting 2 of our students. But public administrations, mainly local city councils, NGOs, and enterprises. We work in a strong internal and external network. Why do we work in this field? Let me convey you why in the words of 2 students that participate in the program. One is a Syrian woman and the other one is a Congolese student. The first testimony is really hard, but I would like to convey you because I know you understand. I came to Barcelona as part of the scholarship to support refugees. And to be honest, I was waiting for this opportunity and was afraid to miss it, especially after all the racism, sexual abuse, and exploitation I experienced in Lebanon. This is her testimony. The higher education at the master level was not a guarantee to improve our lives in living while living in a refugee camp. Thanks to the refugee support program, I am now in Barcelona, a city where I feel free and my rights are respected as a human being, and having an opportunity at the same time to study at the university. We are talking about safe places. This is important. And to be honest, I admire the resilience, the strength, and the efforts of these students in their quest for a better life for themselves and for their families as well. Regarding the challenges, there are a lot of challenges. The first one is that we don't, as universities, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Universities have services and supporting areas, but these services should readapt, reshape to the new students' profiles and needs. On the other hand, our university is learning to be more inclusive, but I think we can improve, we can do better. We have a third challenge is the definitive institutionalization of the program with properly human and economic resources. We know that economic resources is always key. We need to consolidate as well and alert the support of international agents, local and state government bodies in terms of accommodation, visas that are a huge problem, or documentation renewals. We are facing as well a challenge is the post-studies phase. What happens when these students finish their studies? The access to the work market in our countries is a big challenge. We are, as University of Barcelona Support Program, we have started to work in new areas of intervention, for example, with unaccompanied refugee minors and physical activity as a strategy for social cohesion. And last but not least, one of the challenges I can identify is the design, setup, and development of a coordinated action to create safe spaces that enable refugees to access university education at the European level. And thank you very much for your attention.
Dr. Katy Jerez, thank you for your participation in this meeting. Thank you all for these very interesting contributions. The time flies, and so I really would like to ask the next speakers just to deliver some takeaway messages. Firstly, we will have a Syrian voice, George. He is a Syrian pharmacist, peace builder, and human rights advocate, and is at the King's College in London. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I will try to be very brief. So dear all, thank you so much really for giving me this opportunity to attend here today and deliver the voices of Syrians, but also thank you so much for organizing something like that. It's really heartwarming to see that people do care about the education and about Syrians. So thank you so much again. So after 10 years of war, Syrians are stuck alone in Syria and sanctions forced upon them. Very limited interactions with any outsiders are happening. So we realize more than ever before how important education is, as Syrians are going to be the ones who are going to rebuild their countries. However, do they really have what they need to do that? Let's think about that. With the requirements that are forced on obtaining a scholarship, these opportunities are now counted as elite and only reaching a specific section of Syrian youth who have the money and the ability to travel to Lebanon, pay for too much money to get an English certification from IELTS, TOEFL, and other ones of these, and also travel to get visa from Lebanon afterwards when they are selected for the scholarship. And furthermore on that, online education was the only other option. In 2018, Coursera was banned because of the OFAC sanctions. And unfortunately, when you visit Coursera website today, it says a very heartbreaking message. We are sorry, but due to OFAC restrictions, learners in your country are not allowed to access this opportunity. And in 2020, Duolingo was also banned. We had to come up with a whole campaign just to deliver our voice and say, we need Duolingo. It's the only option to have an English certificate. After 5 months of fighting, we got Duolingo back, but still we are facing the trouble of paying online and other stuff, other kind of struggles. Syrians who are in Syria really need education, and it's the most important. Thank you so much for the Portugal, United Kingdom, and many countries who are taking into consideration such initiatives and actually trying to deliver opportunities for Syrians. It was heartwarming seeing those students who achieved amazing results and now are obtaining amazing certificates. So please try to deliver our voice, try to tell other people about our struggles, influence decision makers, target more Syrians in scholarships, encourage those people to make extra steps to ensure equal opportunities, to ensure equal access to education, and advocate against universal sanctions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, George. And now, Elena Barroco, on behalf of the Global Platform for Syrian Students, if you could have 3 wishes for the scholarship program, what will they be?
Thank you, Candida. Good morning or good afternoon to everyone. I hope, Candida, that you have a magic wand. Otherwise, spelling out witches is not very rewarding. But nevertheless, first wish, I really wish that international organizations, and notably the European Union and others, could include higher education within the humanitarian agenda, because this is not the case so far, and higher education is still seen within emergency settings as a luxury. So we are struggling to change this mindset, and my wish is that this can happen soon. My second wish, I wish I could make funding for higher education in emergencies sustainable and predictable, and which is not the case so far. We are working on launching a YES fund, YES standing for Youth Education Solidarity Fund. And I hope it can spread as the coronavirus, but in this case for a good purpose. And I also hope that we can together, and this is a call to the audience, to work together to tap untapped resources. And I was thinking that maybe one avenue to explore is to try to have lotteries, so associations of European lotteries allocating a small 1.1% to this topic during the next 10 years. This would really make a huge difference. And last but not the least, my third wish is really to be able to deliver more, not in 10 years' time, but for the next academic year. Not only inside Syria, as George has just mentioned, but everywhere where there is an opportunity, an academic opportunity to offer to a student. Thank you so much, Candida.
Thank you, Elena, and I hope your wishes will be completed. And now I will invite Ambassador Moraes Cabral, who is the Portuguese Special Envoy for Higher Education in Emergencies, to close this side event. You have the floor, sir, please.
Thank you very much, and thanks to all participants, and a very good day to you all. I'll be short. For me, the biggest takeaway from this event is that doing more, better, and faster for providing higher education for young people trapped in crisis situations is not an option, but a strategic requirement and a moral obligation. A requirement and an obligation that stem from the knowledge that education protects, empowers, and builds hopes for the future, and is indeed a decisive element in rebuilding torn apart societies. This has been stated in very clear terms in the Syrian testimonials that we have heard, and all other speakers have underlined how much this is a win-win outcome for all. In my capacity as the Portuguese Special Envoy for Higher Education in Emergencies, I appreciate fully the wealth of arguments in favor of scaling efforts to support students at risk, in forced displacement, or in need of international protection that were put forward consistently and unanimously by the speakers. Let me reiterate that I'm fully committed to advancing this topical issue. At a time shaped by protracted emergencies affecting millions of young people, we have to live up to their expectations of building a better future and indeed more open, safe, and fairer societies. Education is paramount for this purpose. As President Sampaio reminded us, higher education in crisis situations is not a luxury, but a true game changer to rebuild hope for the future. We in Portugal, we are committed to making things move, but we cannot do it alone. To produce a quantum leap, we need to join efforts with others, to bring the international community together, the international organizations, as Elena just said, to mobilize all stakeholders and all those that believe in the indispensable role of higher education in overcoming very tragic situations. Only thus can we make a difference. So let's do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador, for your words. And let me to thank for all your participation, students, testimonials, speakers, distinguished guests. Thank you so much for attending this side event. It was very emotional, I think. For me, it was a huge pleasure to listen to these Syrian voices and all the process that can build the future of these students, of these citizens. That is it for today. Have a nice day. Goodbye and thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Awesome.